right, good evening and welcome to the November 12th meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. This meeting is being held virtually via Zoom video conference and is also being broadcast by FCTV and cable channel 9. As this meeting is being recorded by Zoom and broadcast by FCTV, please be cognizant of what you say, how you say it, and what can be seen and heard in your background. I'd like to remind the commissioners that for commenting, I will call on each one of you in turn, so please refrain from speaking over each other. Also, all votes are done by a roll call, so when I call your name, please state your name and your vote for the record, even if you've made the motion or second. To our public attendees, at this time during this meeting, at any time during this meeting, you may enter a comment or question via the chat function. At the appropriate time, they will be read into the record. If, as an attendee, you'd like to participate in a particular hearing, let us know via the chat function. Then at the appropriate time, you'll be promoted into the hearing as a participant. When you are selected, you must have your video enabled, be succinct, and respectful of others. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. RDAs. Under a request for determination of applicability, the application is asking the Commission to determine if the provisions of the Mass Wetlands Protection Act and/or the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw apply to their proposed project. A negative determination is that the provisions of the Act and/or bylaw do not apply. Therefore, the project may proceed as proposed. A positive determination means the provisions of the Act and/or bylaw do in fact apply and/or may require some conditions. Therefore, the project would require a notice of intent application. So as an applicant, what you want to hear is a negative determination. For the benefit of anyone waiting for a particular hearing tonight, and so that you're not waiting unnecessarily, the following hearings are expected to be continued. Pier 37 on 110 Scranton Avenue. 15 Dairy Lane and 0 Rand Beach Road, North Falmouth. Let me see, what else do we have? I think that was it. Oh, and enforcement order on 41 Mary Emanuel Way in East Falmouth is being continued, as is 32 Squibnocket Drive, East Falmouth, Mass. Okay. So the first item on our agenda this evening is executive session. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second, to go into executive session. We should be back shortly, and hopefully it won't take too long. So I have a motion and a second to go into executive session. I'm going to call the roll. Courtney?
Bird, aye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ron?
Driscoll aye.
Ronnie?
Bowman, I.
Dave?
Pat, aye.
Bill?
Duffy aye.
Jim?
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye. Okay, we're in executive session. Okay, so we're back in executive session. We're recording. All right, Jen?
Yep, you're back in regular session and we're recording.
And we're recording. Okay.
Yep.
Other business. Amend vote taken on 0 West Falmouth Highway. This is a little legalese we have to add, Jen. Is that what it is?
Correct. So last week, in response to the petitioner's article proposing to be amended on town meeting floor, we took a vote to basically remain neutral in the discussion And we voted to defer to the will of town meeting. The correct vote, guys, and my apologies, would have been to defer to the will of the property owner, which is the select board. So that is the vote we have to amend. We just need to amend our vote to defer to the will of the select board.
Bird, so move.
Okay,
Driscoll second.
we got a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Driscoll to amend as presented by Jen. So
Yeah, to amend to defer to the will of the select board.
Selectmen. Okay.
Correct.
Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie, did we lose?
Bowman, no.
Bowman, no, okay. Dave,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So by a counted vote of, what is that, 7 and one against, the motion carries to amend the recommendation.
Yep,
Okay.
and I will write that up as you asked me to last week, Mr. Chairman, send that out to you, and that will be the statement if asked on town meeting floor or at any of the precinct meetings that the community development director will address.
Okay, thank you, Jen.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good. All right, next up is a request for a continuance under notice of intent. Brian McLaughlin, Falmouth Pier 37 Inc., 110 Scranton Ave, Falmouth, Mass. For permission to replace and relocate the bulkhead, remove a portion of filled tidelands, and expand the existing dock system. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until December 17th.
Okay, we have
Move.
continuance to December 17th. We got a motion by Courtney. I got a second.
Kent, aye.
Dave, thank you, Dave. We got a motion and a second to continue this hearing until December 17th. I will call roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. That's unanimous. That hearing is continued until December 17th. Next, for a request for continuance is 15 Dairy Lane, LLC, 15 Dairy Lane, and 0 Rand Beach Road. Map/parcel number is 0503 001B 000, Falmouth, Mass. For permission to construct a common dock. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until January 21st.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to continue until, what was the date on that, Jen?
January 21st?
January 21st, sorry. Till January 21st. Any other comments or questions by the commission? Hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous to continue that hearing until January 21st. Next up is a request for continuance under an enforcement order. John G. Butt and Mary Ellen Butt of 41 Mary Manuel Way, Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted construction of a deck, fence, removal of trees, and clearing vegetation without conservation jurisdiction. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The resident needs a bit more time, so we are recommending a continuance until December 10th.
December 10th.
Yes.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second to continue until December 10th. Any other comments or questions by the commission? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Kent, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous to continue that hearing until December 10th. Request for determination of applicability. Evan Laporte, 187 Shorewood Drive, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to reconstruct an existing deck. Alyssa?
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and a -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation for 187 Shorewood Drive. Any other comments or questions for the commission? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Kent, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Jim.
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye, so we're unanimous to continue. I'm sorry, to accept staff's recommendation. And next up, I've got to step aside and turn it over to Vice Chair Courtney Bird.
All right, so next up, request for determination of applicability. Bowerman's Beach Club Condominium Trust, 140 Chappaquoit Road, Falmouth, Mass. For permission to replace an existing tennis court, reconstruct a fence, prune vegetation, and remove invasive species. Who's doing it, Alyssa?
Yes. Staff recommends a -3 under the state and a -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Duffy, so moved. Driscoll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for a negative determination. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Steve Patton,
Kent, aye.
Jim McGrath,
McGrath, aye.
and Bill Duffy,
Duffy, aye.
Dave Kent,
Kent, aye.
Ron Driscoll,
Driscoll aye.
Ron Bowman,
Bowman, aye.
and Bird, aye. The motion is carried. Next up, I'll turn it back to our esteemed chair.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Next up is Timothy Conley, 18 Whitecaps Drive, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to reconstruct an existing dock. Alyssa.
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and a -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation.
One question. Is
Yes.
it a typo? It says in the agenda that it's an existing deck, and you said it's an existing dock.
Oh, I
It's a
apologize.
deck.
It's a deck.
Deck. Thank you.
It's a deck, okay.
It's a deck. Sorry
I
about
just
that.
want to know what we were voting on.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. So any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'm going to call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Kent, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, unanimous to accept staff's recommendations to reconstruct an existing deck. All right, next up is Sylvia Bartel, 174 Acapesket Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to install a new Title V sewage disposal system. Alyssa.
Yes, so the project will require a continuance until December 3rd.
I'll move for a continuance till the 2nd of December, Bird.
Driscoll
Sorry.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to continue until December 3rd. Any other comments or questions by the commission? Okay, hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Bowman, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. That's unanimous to continue until December 3rd. Michael Herrera, 71 T-Ticket Path, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to replace and relocate an existing dock piles and to replace an existing float. Alyssa,
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll, second.
okay, so we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation of 71 T-Ticket Path. Any other comments or questions about the commission? Hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous to accept staff's recommendations. Let me see. Continued request for a hearing under a notice of intent. The first one up is we've already read. It's 110 Scranton Ave. So I'll move on to David and Catherine Greco, 42 Shaker Lane, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct a porch, install a patio, conduct invasive species management, and install mitigation plantings. And who we got up? We got, hey, Tim.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I've promoted Tim Santos from Merrill Engineering up to present his continued project.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, Tim.
Good evening. For the record, Tim Santos from Merrill Engineers representing the applicant. With your permission, I will share my screen.
Please do.
Everybody see that?
It is.
Alrighty. This project was continued from about a few weeks ago, a month ago, to address staff concerns on the original staff report. So I'll kind of review the project because it's never been opened. So project's located at 42 Shaker Lane along Bourne's Pond, currently developed an existing single-family home. Deck along the rear of the house with a walkway that accesses the Bourne's Pond. Resource areas on or within 100 feet of the property of salt marsh, the pond itself, salt marsh along the pond, coastal bank that wraps along the eastern side of the house and then the southern side. And part of the property is inland subject to coastal storm flowage, everything to the south of this orange line. We filed an application with the board to do some redevelopment on the property. The applicant's looking to do some house modifications on the land side as well as the seaside of the house. On the landward side, we're proposing to construct a porch in this area here, as well as reconfigure some stepping stones that lead from the front entrance to the driveway and a minor enlargement to the driveway as well. On the seaward side, we're looking to reconfigure a set of steps on this deck that do not match the plan from 2009. So at some point in time, I believe it was 2014, 2015, this deck was reconstructed and the steps came towards the pond without a permit. So we're going to modify that to make sure that the steps are in the correct location and they go down adjacent to the deck. And we are proposing a patio as well. This project also includes mitigation plantings under the redevelopment portion of the bylaws. There's an increase, if you look at the mitigation calculation exhibit, there's an increase of 759 square feet in the A and 136 square feet in the B, which require 2,549 square feet of mitigation plantings, and we are proposing 2,753 square feet of mitigation plantings. They wrap around the back side of the house and come up along the coastal bank, as shown here on this dashed hatch area. Also part of this project is a bank invasive restoration project. They're gonna remove all the invasives on the bank. Once that's been up to snuff and the invasives are gone, it'll be replanted. It's approximately 1,376 square feet. I believe this area is about 95% invasive. If you want to know more about the invasive portion of the project, Tyler is on as well, and he can answer any questions that you might have. In regard to the staff report, I believe we addressed all the concerns with this revised plan from the original report, and then received a new staff report with a few minor comments, and I did send back my comments to Jen and Melissa this morning, and I believe if we close this hearing tonight, we could submit a revised plan to address them. Basically, there's a tree kind of in this area. Actually, let me go to the landscape plan. The tree in this area right here, it's a cedar. If staff and the board feel it's too close to the house, we can move it and field locate it with staff's approval at a later date and refill that area in with bayberry. And then the other main concern was some of the mitigation plantings are in the B zone. We can easily move them into the A zone and revise the landscape plan, and that could be conditioned. So if the board has any questions or concerns, I'd be more than happy to address them. And I'll stop sharing.
All right, Tim, thank you. Let's start off with Alyssa. Do you want to take this one?
Only if Jen doesn't.
Doesn't matter to me. You
Okay,
did the review, you can do it.
sure. Thanks, Tim. Yes, we did get your notes. Thank you for clarifying that those are not walls, they're sort of just edging. Yeah, I just had concern with the tree still in that area. It's awkwardly close to the property line on one side and the house on the other. So I'm just concerned about when it reaches maturity, if it'll be in a predicament over there. And then I think relocating the mitigation into the A would be preferred just based on the regulations. That's really all I had. Thank you for addressing our many other initial comments.
All right, Jen.
Tim, did you address I don't see it in your notes. Did you address the plethora down by the marsh, and a more salt tolerant species might be a little bit more appropriate?
I think you said that you were looking to have a different
Yeah.
species in that area, and we can add that to the revised landscape plan.
Okay, perfect.
So that's
Thank you.
not a problem, sorry.
Thank you.
You good, Jen?
Yes.
Courtney?
No questions.
Steve?
Thank you, everybody, for taking care of those issues.
Ron?
Yeah, just good luck with all those plantings. It seems to be a massive job. I hope they survive. That's all.
Ronnie?
No comment.
Dave?
I'm all set.
Bill?
If they're already working with Alyssa and Jen, then I'm good with it.
Jim?
No questions.
Okay, I don't have anything either. Jen, do you have everything you need so we maybe can entertain a motion?
Yeah, we can condition what we need, and we'll work with Tim to get a revised plan into the record and record it. And there is nothing in the public chat regarding this project, Mr. Chairman.
Great, thank you.
No
Appreciate
problem.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Duffy second.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Court. We have a motion, a second, to close the hearing and take it under advisement. Any other comments or questions? And we're cool in chat, so I'm going to call a roll. Courtney, Assistant
Bird
Clerk.
eye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ron?
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie?
Bowman, I.
Dave?
Anti.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Jim?
Jim McGrath, I.
And Robbins is an aye. So we're unanimous. This hearing is closed.
Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend. Everybody have a good holiday too, because I won't see you till after the holidays. So
All right,
Thank
Tim. Same to you.
take care.
Right, Tim.
Good night.
All right. Next up is 15 Dairy Lane, which has been continued previously. So next up is Stephen and Suzanne Algier, 14 Brigetti Lane, East Falmouth, for after-the-fact permission to reconstruct and enlarge a deck, to install associated mitigation plantings, and to vista prune according to FWR 10.1810B. Jen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I promoted Tom Bunker up to present his continued project.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to get the plans in. Just had a 1 week continuance from last time. I'll go into that if I can share my screen up right now.
Go right ahead.
And put the plan up. Okay, so there are a couple problems we had, and one part of this project is to request a vista pruning, and so Alyssa noticed that these vista pruning lines went off the property onto the budding property. This is not totally unusual, but the property line is partway up the bank, and this other land, so this lot has no frontage down on Green Pond, and so of course the vista pruning. Any permission you give has to end at the property line, which is right there. The main reason we are here is that, I guess it's related to vista pruning, because Suzanne Algeri came to talk to Alyssa about vista pruning, and when Alyssa came out, saw the deck was bigger than had been expanded since the last record of the house being built, and so. We did obtain a plan of this is from when before they bought the house, this orange line, the deck was this big, and it's now this full deck out here. We did that plan, and then there were 2 comments in the staff report, and one that we did not have the DPW, the BVW data sheets for this BVW down at the bottom on the other land. And 2, Alyssa also added that these stepping stones should be added to the plan because they were not all shown on some of those aerial photographs. So we added that. Last Friday, Mark Manganello went to the site, and he's discussed this with their staff several times, how he can't go onto a budding property without the property owner's permission and flag a wetland. So he went down there and wrote a memo, which I unfortunately just got today, sent that to staff. Basically agreeing with what we had done, that there is wetland up here, and the break is between the wetland and the upland is obviously a distinct break in the slope right down this line right here. So he did not do data sheets. He just observed, took some pictures, and wrote a memo. And the conclusion was that this is certainly good enough for the he in his opinion is good enough to proceed the way we have it drawn, is good enough for the purposes of this plan. We put these stepping stones in, and these were left over. The photos that Alyssa showed these stones on an earlier photo, but not other stones going around in this direction. And the owner, so we put these on the plan, and so I have all of these, the ones that are gray, labeled to remove them all. So in here, there's 23 stepping stones along here, and there are 29 stepping stones here, and including these 3 up here. So this plan is removing all of those, but retaining 6 stepping stones down here, which is 21 square feet of mitigation. And I just got an email earlier today that she would like to leave only 2 of the stepping stones. So there's where to go there. Two of the stepping stones right here, and the others she'd like to remove also. So that would get, reduced by a little bit some of the mitigation in here. She said they were just left over from other things. There was a pile of them from when they, without a permit, expanded the deck, but they just had a bunch of these stones left over and put them out there, and they don't need them. She'd like to take them off also. So then we do have the 2-to-1 mitigation. There's a coastal bank. Flood zone is down here, and the coastal bank extends a little bit above the flood zone where the bank is 4-to-1 or steeper. The bank touching a wetland has a 50-foot zone A, which is here. Salt marsh 100-foot zone A. They run through sort of the wooded area on the slope and where the mitigation is going to go. So all of this work up to this point is in zone B. So we have the mitigation calculations for 2-to-1 right over there, which comes out to filling in. There's a bare area here, no grass or anything under these trees, and so that's where we're putting the mitigation planting. So that's it. I would just ask that if you can close the hearing tonight, I just ask that I can change the mitigation slightly to show 4 more stones being removed. Anyway, I will take this down and then take your questions.
All right, Tom, thank you. Jen,
No questions, Mr. Chairman. Tom, we can work with you on a revised plan.
Alyssa,
Just one comment, Tom, if we can switch out the low bush for something else on the plan.
Oh, that's right.
That would
Yeah,
be
that was
best.
a comment. I forgot that. You're right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
all right. So let's start off with Steve.
Thank you, but I don't have any questions. Thanks for settling everything once again.
Thank you, Steve. Ron,
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Ronnie,
All set, thank you.
Dave,
Alyssa, could you explain what's going on with the vista pruning? I'm not very familiar with that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, the
what are they gonna
concept of
do?
vista pruning.
Well, what are they going to do in this situation?
Yeah, so in order to vista prune, they can choose a 25-foot wide corridor for properties that don't already have a view similar to that, in which we can approve selective removal of branches on the existing trees to create more pockets of view. So it's not stripping a tree, it's not clearing it up one side or the other. It's very selective cuts to help maintain the health of the tree. We can allow select saplings to be removed to enhance the view while keeping them in the rest of the buffer. Not all saplings, because we need that natural succession in the backyards, because eventually those trees, they will come down at some point. And then we allow the existing shrub layer to be brought down to a height of 5 feet. The shrub layer in the backyard here is already pretty low. I wouldn't doubt maybe it was mowed a couple of years ago. There's no immediate signs of cutting, so that's not really applicable in this situation. But there certainly are a couple saplings that we could work with and some tree branches. I have yet to meet with the certified arborist, but as Tom noted in his narrative, that will be a requirement when that time comes, just so we can have the right scope of work.
So that meeting, you're going and doing all this in particular, that's coming. It's not been this hasn't been done yet, but it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, typically when we see vista pruning, it's a kind of a standalone part of a project. So you see it mostly under RDAs. And before it comes to you, we make sure that we get that done, since we have the ability to condition on NOIs. And it's usually part of a larger project. We don't always meet the arborist right away. So it will be a requirement going forward.
Thank you. I'm all set.
all right, thanks, Dave. Bill,
No questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Jim,
No questions.
and I have no questions. Jen, do you have everything and you're comfortable with closing this?
We are comfortable with closing, Mr. Chairman, and there is no chat on this project.
Okay. That was my second question. All right. So, are there any other comments or questions by the commission?
I don't have any. You forgot to call on me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Court.
That's all right.
How could I forget you?
I know.
Getting in a corner.
That's all right. I don't have any comments.
All right. Since Courtney doesn't have any other comments, I will call a
So
roll.
I'll move to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Chris will second.
We have a motion and a second. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Paul and I.
Dave,
Can't I?
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
Rath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, unanimous. This hearing is closed. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Night, Tom.
Thanks,
Good
Tom.
night.
All right.
Where's my?
Next up is Michael and Marnie Farrell, 202 Edgewater Drive East, LLC, 202 Edgewater Drive East, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct a dock. Jen,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I am promoting Mike Borselli up to present his project. This project has been opened.
Mike,
And Alyssa, do we have the quorum? Ugh.
Yes, so I think it's everybody except Ronnie, and Jim.
And Jim.
Did we only met once for this so far, right?
I think so.
correct.
Okay, then I think it's everybody, and I got overzealous one day and did check marks.
All right.
We're good to go.
Yes, you are, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering, and I represent the applicant. In addition to me, I believe Darren Kriegel from Megalodon is probably in the audience. If there's specific questions for him about the shellfish survey and the accompanying report that was submitted with the application. I will share my screen and just go through the project. I did go through the project, I think, at one of the previous hearings. There was a continuance, but just to refresh your memory, the property in question is at 202 Edgewater Drive East. It has water frontage on Eel Pond. The wetland resources of note are land under the ocean, land containing shellfish. There's a salt marsh at the base of a stone riprap. The riprap in the adjoining land is sloping and it meets the definition of a coastal bank. So we've identified the top of the coastal bank on the plan as well. The property has a existing modest size house, driveway, lawn areas. There's a deck on the side here. The proposal before you is to request permission to construct a private recreational pier, which is shown centered on the waterfront. The pier has been designed to meet your standards for width, length, alignment. A shellfish survey was performed by Megalodon. The report was submitted. We did water depth sound measurements, and if you make reference to the plan, the water depths are demonstrated to be more than the minimum 3 feet of water depth reference to mean low water. We had an initial meeting with the harbor master when we first designed the alignment of the dock to make sure he had no issues with the project, and he has commented. I believe this one mooring may need to be relocated. That would be under his direction and at the expense of the applicant. We show a mooring field on the side of the dock here. This is where the boat would be intended to be tied. We understand and we expect you'll have a condition that there only be one boat, as is your custom. The pier is designed as we typically do, and you've seen on a number of occasions. I'm going to share details with you now. This is a profile of the pier. It starts at the top of the seawall. There's a one level section, and then it transitions down to a lower level, but not the final lowest level. This intermediate level is shown here to provide the required distance above the salt marsh, which is a DMF policy of 1.5 times the width of the pier. So since the pier is 4 feet wide, we're demonstrating that we're providing 6 foot minimum from the underside of the stringers where we cross the salt marsh. In addition, this elevated section also demonstrates that it meets the 5 foot separation from mean high water for public access along the waterfront. This section will be entirely through flow decking, 50% sunlight penetration, which is a requirement of your local regulation. And then once we cross that, we transition down one more time to the final level of the dock, which is closer to the mean high water level, but still high enough to not be flooded at moon high tides. There's a cross section showing how the construction will be performed with the timbers and the framing. The piles are 10-inch diameter and they're spaced 16 feet on center, which is typical. I think that basically explains what we're proposing. The staff report, there were some previous comments at an earlier staff report that we've addressed that included that there should only be one mooring field, that we originally had another mooring field on this side. There needed to be clarity on the through flow decking to make sure that it was in all areas where the salt marsh was crossed. Your staff pointed out that they observed some gravel area that was installed here near the deck from the driveway that did not have the benefit of a permit. So instead of providing mitigation for that, the applicant elected to remove that and convert it back to grass. I think the final comment was relative to these green shaded areas. On a previous application that my company wasn't involved with, there was a deck constructed that needed to have mitigation planting associated with it. And the mitigation planting was proposed and installed here. And we were asked to identify and quantify the mitigation areas. We've done that. We counted the number of plants and measured the spacing in these areas. And then using the plant calculator, we calculated the equivalent area of coverage and identified it for each area. For instance, in this area, it's 12 plants, 72 square feet. Here it's 32 plants and 248. And then finally, this is 11 plants and 76. I believe your staff thinks this is a little shy on what was required. I'm happy to work with, and the applicant's happy to work with staff to supplement this as necessary. And we're hoping that that could be made a condition of the approval if you do vote to close the hearing tonight. I think that sums it up. I'm here for questions, and I believe Darren's here for questions as well.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Jen,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this project was continued for several weeks while the Marine and Environmental Services Department conducted an investigation into the project. You've all received Mr. Martinson's, Officer Martinson's report. It states during August of 2025, I became aware of inconsistencies involving shellfish surveys conducted as part of the dog proposal. NOI application for 202 Edgewater Drive, East Falmouth, Mass. Over the course of my review, I found that the company performing the work to support the NOI conducted 2 shellfish surveys on the above referenced property. The first survey was conducted on September 14th, 2024, and found the quahog samples in excess of the thresholds outlined in FWR 10.34. The second survey, conducted 8 months later on May 3rd, 2025, meets the thresholds of 10.34, and he included the first survey for the board's consideration. So I think at this point, the board needs to determine what you want to do with both those surveys. The first survey exceeded the threshold count under your regulations. 8 months later, a survey showed it didn't meet the thresholds. Aside from a anonymous tip back in April that stated they saw the people shellfishing in the area and removing large quantities of shellfish, that's what Mr. Martinson concluded, is there were 2 surveys done. The first one wouldn't have allowed a dock to be built. The second one does. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
okay, but that, again, that anonymous person, we have no
Correct.
idea about
No.
that. I mean,
Nope, I know, but I'm just repeating it because it was stated in the staff report.
anything like that, so.
Yep, that's fine.
Alyssa,
Nothing to add. Thank you.
okay, Ron,
I guess to determine whether the shellfish migrate by themselves or somehow that area was picked. Is that area open to shellfishing? Normally?
I
apparently,
don't know the answer to that question, Ron. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that question.
And I know when they do throw those oysters out, they just throw them out in a mass, and they could have just picked. I don't know which survey to believe. I mean, at this point, I'd say wait a couple months and do another survey. You can't. Which, if both surveys are correct, which one should we go with? There's no velocity zone in Eel Pond, right?
No, there's not a velocity zone over there, Ron.
I didn't think so. I just wanted to make that.
Yep.
obvious
Mr. Chairman,
question.
if I could speak to Commissioner Driscoll's comments just very briefly. In my experience doing docks, it's common that a survey can be done that exceeds thresholds, and the applicant's sort of disappointed, and he's told, well, try it again. Wait some time and try it again. Sometimes it has less shellfish. We don't know why. Sometimes there is fish. Sometimes it's naturally diminishing in the populations. But the most recent shellfish survey, which was done in September of 24, is what I think we should be looking at. Not the one that was done. I'm sorry, the recent one that was done in May of 25, not the one that was done in September of 24. But I'm not an expert. I just know that it happens.
Yeah. I know it's not an exact science.
I mean, it's also, it's the performance standard we go by when we're trying. It's the standard that we have least on certainty and knowing until we do this survey. We can measure water depths pretty easily. We can determine if we're in a velocity zone by looking at a map. We can talk to the harbor master, but the shellfish survey is the one that takes a lot of labor and a report to see if you meet the density threshold.
All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Ronnie, I'll get to all of you. I see the hands up, so I'll get to you. Ronnie?
Megalodon was a reputable company. The anonymous person that called in, I would like to see some proof of that. I mean, if someone naturally fished it. So I have a problem with that. And as a homeowner, I think they have the right to wait 6 months or a year to redo that study to move forward. So I'm in favor. Just clear up the mitigation issues and move forward.
Okay. So you all set, Ron?
Yep.
Thank you. Dave?
Jen, do we have experience of in other properties of multiple surveys like this coming out different? Has this been a challenge to the board in the past?
Not that we're aware of. We wouldn't be privy to that information. This
I mean
information
on
was-
other projects, previous
No.
projects.
I know, Dave, and what
Oh.
I'm saying is that no, because we wouldn't have been privy to that information. We were only able to obtain this information because there was an investigation conducted by Officer Martinson. So if there had been multiple surveys on properties, and we would never have known.
So the answer is no. We've not faced this before.
No, we have not.
If I could, it's just important to note, if I could, that there was full disclosure. I mean, it wasn't hidden. When the questions were asked, the information was provided.
All right. You good, Dave?
I guess I'm with Ronnie. It seems to me that we need to rely on the more current one. That's what I would probably say.
Okay. Bill?
Yeah, I would. Shellfish don't, like especially cohogs and oysters, don't just get up and move for the most part and disperse. However, I would like, in all fairness, to understand if that area is zoned for cohogging. I mean, if people can legally go in and actively shellfish, that would, and I'm also one of these people that, especially in my other line of work, is I can't stand anonymous tips, but I get them. But Jen, if you could ever find out, because I wouldn't mind continuing this at least to know if that area is at least allowed for shellfishing, because that, in my opinion, could actually understand it. I mean, cohogs don't swim, oysters don't swim that far. So, and I think I would have to take a look at the surveys a little bit more to see how different it was as well, whether it was significantly different between surveys and stuff like that. So I'd have to take a longer look, but I would like to know if shellfishing was legal in that area.
Yes, I can find that information out from MES. I just don't have it available for me tonight, for you guys tonight. But if you continue the hearing to December 1st, I can get that information. And I think it was, Alyssa, what did we determine? Half?
Yeah, I believe,
Something like that.
yeah, let me look. I have it right here.
Darren Krigel's commenting. Maybe he
Yes,
should
I know, Mike. I see it.
Okay.
Darren, we'll promote you up so you can show us the open areas, and I'd want to probably check them, confirm those with Chuck. I don't accept information at the night of the hearing without confirming it. So be happy to promote you right now, Darren, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, but I want to go on and just get all the questions out of the way here. Then we'll listen to that. Because I know Rodney's had his hand up for a while. Jim, do you have anything?
No questions, Chairman.
I'm going to hold for now. Go ahead, Court.
Yeah, it is concerning that there's this discrepancy, and certainly you don't want to impute any motives to anybody, and it may be naturally occurring, but the fact is that there's a marked difference in those surveys, and It seems to me the easiest thing to do would be to wait about 6 months and do another survey and use that as the basis for our judgment.
But what are you determining the 6 months to a year on, Courtney? If you're going to wait to do another survey, then I would suggest you get some sort of information from the shellfish constable about how long an area would take to naturally reseed itself.
That's fair enough. I threw that out.
If the board's going to go that route, I would definitely want you to get an opinion from Officer Martinson, who is the shellfish constable.
Okay, that's fair enough, but I think rather than trying to decide between two dueling surveys and, the fact that the second one meets the standard and the first one didn't, I'm sorry, but that raises a red flag in my mind. And so I think the cleanest way is to do yet another survey and let that be the determinant. Now, and I think I would agree, it should be done according to Martinson's, what his findings, his recommendation on the timing and so forth. And I think in the meantime, we should perhaps have some form of monitoring down there so that, some kind of nefarious activities are going on.
Courtney, you want to volunteer for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to deal with it, but
Courtney,
it troubles me, that's all.
we get it, Courtney.
I think that's beyond the scope. Steve, Steve, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything to add.
All right, Steve, thank you. Do you want to, who was it that had the,
Well, there's two folks in the audience. Is Darren Kriegel from Megalodon? He might want to comment, and the owners making some comments too.
Okay.
I was just going to bring that
Yeah,
up.
we'll get to them, Mike. I'm promoting Darren Kriegel, Mr. Chairman for Megalodon.
Yep. And then we'll see.
And then I can read the chats.
Yep. Darren, are you there?
I've promoted him.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep. Can't see you, but I can hear you.
Let me get my camera on here. How about that?
There you go.
Thank you, Darren.
Hello, everyone. Very
Share the screen if you've got something for us to put up on the screen.
Sure. So this, let me know when you can see it. Is it up?
Yep.
So this is directly from the Town of Falmouth website. This is not a map I've created. I've taken this directly from the town, and it shows the areas that are open to shellfishing. For reference, let me move this bar. For reference, 202 Edgewater Drive East is here, just so that you know where we're looking. This is just a Google Maps image, but please note where it is. It's right around this trifecta, right, of Eel Pond. If you go over here, this is that area, and it appears to be closed or temporarily approved. Status closed for Edgewater Drive East, closed. So I'm not sure how often these are updated, but as of today, right, I can't say last year or September. I'm not sure how frequently these are updated or modified, but the snapshot in time is that it is open to shellfish.
Okay.
And while I've got the screen, just in trying to be as transparent as possible, let me know if you can still see this. Are you looking at the map or are you looking at a report?
We're looking at a report.
Great. So this is the original report. We had 1.4 cohogs per square meter for the original report. The follow-on report had 0.73 cohogs per meter. So 11 were collected on the second survey. The first survey had 21. So I'm trying to be as upfront and as transparent as possible. I think, Jen, your original comment that this does happen. People do ask for second or follow-on surveys a period of time after the first survey, if the first survey is not going to allow them to achieve a dock. These surveys really are snapshots in time. The environment is constantly changing and moving. And I think you're right, Bill, in your comment that the shellfish just don't get up and leave. But there is something to be said about having a shellfish survey. There's quite a bit of disturbance. We are raking a cubic foot of sediment up from the seafloor, and we sieve it down to a quarter of an inch. So we are disturbing a large portion of the seafloor, and we're doing this every 5 feet out parallel to shore and 10 feet perpendicular to shore. So it's a pretty big disturbance. And while we do put those quahogs back into the water where we found them, they are exposed. They've been ripped out of their homes and sediment, and it is possible. I'm not trying to say that this is something that happens, or it is or it isn't, but I just want to note that because of that disturbance, it's possible that they relocate, right? They've got that foot that they drag around and can essentially lick the ground to move and find a new home. So I understand that, that it's not a blink of an eye where you're going to see shellfish change, but after a disturbance like a shellfish survey, it is likely that, or it is possible that, the shellfish may not have dug right down where we collected them. For what it's worth.
So Darren, can I ask you that map that you have up of the shellfishing areas, what's closed and what's open?
Yeah.
Okay, and could you point out where that project is? Right about there?
Let me show you directly. You can make the judgment call. This is Edgewater Drive East. 202 Edgewater Drive East is right here. So at River, you can see there's a pinch here, and it's right off the tip of that island.
And then
Seaspit River, that's the island. It's right around there.
And just outside of that, we have this forest green area. I'm assuming that's okay to fish then.
Yeah, I don't know who drew these lines.
I'm curious. Just curious.
Well, that's a shellfish grant. That's
that green area.
Oysters are propagated there. That's Seapit River. Yeah.
Okay. And that, would that have any effect on the population in that area? I don't know. That's why I'm just asking.
I can get that information from you, Russ, from Chuck. I can ask him.
Okay.
And I can also ask him to confirm these maps that Darren, thank you, Darren, is showing, and also to see.
Yeah, there it is. Cool.
Thank you. And then also to see if he has information about when the time periods that the 2 surveys were done, if those areas were opened or closed. He should have that information. So, I think if the board has more questions, again, let me consult with Mr. Martinson, get some of your questions and comments kind of answered and addressed, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. I mean, the N is so low and the quahogs between each side, if, between 23 and 11 individuals, depending on the time, and if there is shellfishing and the whole anonymous thing. Chuck can give us a tiny bit more information. I'd like to go with sort of the later one, but I just want to make sure, because I hate anonymous. Just, all right, this happened. Well, explain it more, please. And
okay, so really you guys want shellfish maps from Chuck.
I got you wrong.
And then historical, meaning like the time, if we have them, whether they were opened or closed, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Historical,
in between, if there was actually allowable shellfishing.
Yeah, I can get that information. And then how long to wait between surveys?
Yep. You can stop sharing. Somebody's okay.
Well, sorry, I just wanted to point that this is directly from, I appreciate, Jen, your desire to get it from Chuck, but I just want to suggest that it is straight from the Falmouth.gov website. I don't.
Is that their page? Because I'm on GIS and I don't see that, but you must be on MES's page. But I'll get the information from when those 2 surveys are done as well.
Okay. But yeah, I can.
Thank you.
Give you information too. But.
And it does say closed seasonally. So, what does that mean?
Yeah, I'll see if I can get the information.
Ron Driscoll, I apologize. Ron.
Yeah, Darren, just a question on the sampling. It's such a small area. You've taken so many samples. So when you take that second set of samples, you're actually taking the sample area, cohogs or whatever, the mud. You're taking them from the same area you took them the first time, right?
Right. Yeah, that's how the regs are written. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, if you take the cohogs out the first time, they're not going to be there when you're back to the second time.
You put them back.
Put them back in the same
Puts them
box.
back
Back in the same place.
Yeah.
We put them right back. But they have feet. They have this weird tongue foot thing that they move around. So I mean they're not immobile. They do move.
All right. Okay, we'll get more information. Thank you.
All right, Dave, did you have something?
Yeah, can I have the 2 dates of the 2 surveys again? Is that possible?
Yeah. September
14th, September 14th, 2024, and May 3rd, 2025.
And one last question. But what is the threshold?
1 cohog per square.
One even. Okay, thank you. That's it for me.
Per square meter. Okay, we collected.
Darren, you're a scientist. It says square yard.
Okay.
9 by 9. 9 feet by 9 feet. If we're going to get down to it.
It sounds like a continuance on this, Mike. Jen, do you think you can get that information by December 1st?
I can try.
Isn't it December 3rd?
Yes, December 3rd. But I can actually it's December 3rd. You're right, Mike. I can get that information. I have, like, Darren showed the current shellfish maps, but you guys want to know the information on those maps from those 2 dates. I'm sure Chuck has that. How long to wait between another survey? We'll get some clarification from Chuck. But from speaking with him, I think it's like well over a year, but I'll double check and have him put that in writing for you guys. And then I think it was Ron wanted to know how Cape Cod oysters could affect, or maybe it was you, Russ, how the shellfish grant could affect the area over by 202, right?
Yeah.
Did I cover everything?
Well, I have one more thing. I have one more thing, maybe.
Hang on, Dave. What do you got?
Can someone comment to tell us? I mean, do shellfish move around? I mean, are there natural occurrences between these dates that they've seen before, which could make this common sense, this change? Do shellfish die? Do they move away?
Darren is right. Shellfish can move. They don't move very far, but they do move. So I wasn't trying to say that they just.
Well, I know that, but does that make it, would such a movement be likely to cause this change? For example, that's what I'm asking. If an expert can tell us that,
I will ask Chuck that question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And
I think
it's almost
I'm not asking you, Bill.
All right.
Thank you.
I think after a disturbance like a shellfish survey, where we collect and raise those shellfish out of the water and then put them back in, that is a disturbance, and that's a pretty big event. So, and to Ronald's point, we're going back out to rake the same locations. It's surprising we get 11 shellfish, right? I think, if we've dug them up and then you go back and you expect to dig up the same number, that's pretty unlikely. So, I think, if that's context to their movability, we've disturbed them with the shellfish survey.
And if the season was open to shellfish too, that's another one. When is it open? When is it closed? So that has bearing.
And I will get that information for you guys.
And the anonymous person said someone's cohogging, so someone could throw seed out there. The same person. So
Yes.
This anonymous stuff.
Exactly.
I'm
not even going to listen to that.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
That's just
So
ridiculous.
stop talking about it, guys. You want to throw that out, throw it out. Now we're faced with the 2 surveys.
Can I make a motion to continue us to December 3rd, seeing that I think that's where we're going anyways?
Please.
Well, I think my client would like a chance to speak.
That's
I apologize.
Hey, please.
Sorry, Mike.
The applicants are here, and they have every right to speak tonight, and I'd like to hear from them. So
Yeah.
can we arrange that?
Yes.
Do you want to promote them, Mr. Chairman? I can do that.
Yep.
Sure.
They're here, and they've got every right to speak. So
Yeah, no, I think Bill just didn't realize, so it's okay. We're gonna promote him. Don't know why I just promoted Tom Bunker, so I'm gonna get him out of here.
oh, I like Tom.
He's in favor of the project.
Okay, hang on. I gotta figure out how to get Tom out of here. Hold on, Tom. I'm getting you out. Gotta go over here. Where are you, Bunker? There you are. Roll to attendee. Okay, Darren's still here. The Farrells are here. And Tom is back where he belongs as an attendee. There we go, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Jen. Mr. and Mrs. Farrell, I'll give you the floor for 3 minutes.
All right. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate you guys taking this up on our behalf. Just a couple of things that we want to point out is that the first survey missed by literally 3 cohogs. So it was very, very close. And in fact, in the first survey, Pam recommended that that we be allowed to build a dock. And Mike is aware of the fact that we were over the threshold and that it wouldn't make sense to do that because it would never be approved if we were over that threshold.
And the reason for the second one so quickly, our contractor out of the blue texted in February or March and said, hey guys, if you're thinking about doing a dock, not even realizing that we had done the survey, he commented that there was going to be some changes potentially that could affect dock regulations. So by July 1st. So we were kind of, oh my God, we've put all this investment into the engineer. We've put the investment into the shellfish survey. So what route do we take now? And so we all decided, all right, let's do another shellfish survey and see where we come out. So
and then also it was mentioned, I think Darren had mentioned that the difference in cohogs between the 2 areas, and it's a big area. The first one was 21 and the second one was 11. Somebody in the meeting referred to 23 being the second number, but it was 21, I believe. And maybe Darren, you can confirm that. And thirdly, these shellfish surveys are expensive. So to the extent that, that we can avoid that, we would rather. Obviously, we need to make sure that the shellfish is accurate. But these are expensive ventures. So I just want to point that out.
And then also just right by our house is an easement that's used quite a bit to get to have the neighborhood and anyone have access to the water. There's no signs that say no fishing or anything like that to deter anyone. I don't know if people would know to go on the Falmouth website to think, oh, there's nothing allowed here, especially seeing all the oyster fishing happen like right in that area. So this just seems to be kind of uncontrollable for that area and the area in particular that we're in. So just wanted to make those comments.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jen, is there any chance that Chuck could come in? You think we
Yeah.
could get Chuck to show up?
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
I can ask.
It would be.
I mean, he did offer. So if the board would like to hear from your shellfish constable, absolutely. I can see if he is available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can request that. I can see what his availability is. I think at this point you should continue it out to December 3rd. And if Chuck can make it, great. If not, then let me find a night that he may be able to join us.
Okay.
Good idea.
That sounds good. So do we have did somebody make a motion to Bill, did you make a motion to continue us till the 3rd?
I did, but it looks like there's a couple of hands up with the board, so I will
And I second,
postpone for a second and allow. What?
Mr. Chair, I seconded it.
Okay, so
I
we
like
have
it.
a motion in a second.
I just have
Come
one
on.
question. Do we know whether there's a fair amount of current in that area? In other words, the water moves a lot, or is it pretty much still water?
The tip there? I can find that out from Chuck.
Yeah, I mean,
I know from
that would
local
have some
boat,
bearing on the question of,
local boating knowledge. I know there can be some current there.
yeah, I mean, if there's
The
a pretty
tide's
good
coming
current,
in
it's
and out. You gotta have
possible.
water movement. The water's moving in and out with the tide.
There's a lot of current that cohogs can move.
Ron, did you have Ron Driscoll?
I just one quick question. If you average the two surveys, does it fail or pass?
Darren?
Give me a second. Give me a second. I'll run the number.
This barely fail.
Regarding the current, the cohogs could get washed away, but some could get washed in as well. So this is like
I get
random
that,
event.
but I'm just trying to see if there's something in nature that accounts for those guys moving unnaturally. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's a friendly question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
So we're waiting for Darren to give us, he's just gonna do an average, I guess.
He's going to continue. Well, that can be an answer on December 3rd.
Your average is 1.07.
It's on 1.1, just to try 1.1.
Yeah, 1.1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we got a motion in a second. Anything else in the chat, Jen? That looks clear to me.
Only the Pharaohs. If you'd like me to read the chat into the record, I can. It's up to you, Mr. Chair.
Did you cover what you had in the chat?
I think they did they thought the dock regs were changing, which was never a thing. I don't know where that rumor came from. And Mr. and Mrs. Farrell, if you ever have any questions about our regs, you know how to reach me. No, there's nothing new, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and call the roll here then to continue this to December 3rd. Courtney.
Bird eye.
Steve.
Pat and I.
Ron.
Driscoll eye.
Ronnie.
Coleman eye.
Dave.
Bent eye.
Bill.
Duffy eye.
Jim.
McGrath eye.
And Robbins is an aye. So that's unanimous. We're continued until December 3rd for more information. And hopefully it would be nice if Chuck could join us because that man's got a wealth of information.
Yep. I can see
Wow.
if Officer Martin, sir,
Yeah.
will join you.
It's good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So next up is continued hearings under enforcement order. And the first one, that's 41 Mary Emanuel Way, has been continued already. Susan and Maurice Ryan, 32 Squibnocket, has been also continued. Then next up is Robert and Teresa McLaughlin, trustees, 65 Bournes Pond Road, East Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted cutting, removal of buffer zone vegetation, and installation of hardscape within conservation jurisdiction. Jen.
I'm going to kick this one to Alyssa, Mr. Chairman.
Alyssa?
Sorry about that.
Thank you. I'm also just promoting the homeowner. I'm not sure if Tom Bunker will want to join as well. So we continued this hearing just so the commission could visit the property and review the staking on site. In particular, the Vista corridor was staked for your review in addition to the proposed restoration area. The staff has been working with Tom and the McLaughlins to bring this project to a close here, and they just have a couple more items to take place this fall and this spring. So I believe everything has been addressed and everyone's on the same page, assuming the commission is content with what they reviewed on site.
All right. So do we, Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes, hi.
How you doing? Do you have
Good.
anything for us? You want to make a statement, or you going to just be here to answer any questions?
Yeah, I can answer any questions, and I can again compliment Jen and Alyssa. You know, they've been great partners, as well as Tom, and we're just looking forward to. We got in a little bit late, but so we're not going to plant this year. But Tom had a surveyor out, and he did the staking for us, and you know, we have a good idea of how to proceed.
All right, thank you. Questions from the commission? We'll start with Ron Driscoll.
No, I'm all set. Thank you on this.
Ronnie?
I'm good.
Dave?
All set.
Bill?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Jim?
No questions.
And I have no questions either. Courtney?
Yeah, just a quick question. When would the actual work start on this? Next spring? Or
I have to wait on Hamilton, who's going to do the Vista window, but certainly the planting will begin next spring.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if Hamilton is going to wait. Is going to do it sooner, or is going to wait till the spring.
Okay.
Depending upon when the viability, the best time to do
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Steve, you got anything?
No, I don't. Thank you, sir.
All right. So let me see. Alyssa, everybody else is clear. Anything in chat? I don't see anything in chat in regards to
Nothing in the chat, Mr. Chairman.
All right. What's your pleasure? Do we move on from this, move this on?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you're going to close the hearing and vote to issue an enforcement order.
Yep. And you're good with that, Jen? You guys are all
Yep,
set?
and we'll put some timelines together to get the work accomplished.
Okay. Very good.
I'll make a motion to issue an enforcement order.
Driscoll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to issue a enforcement order. Any other comments or questions? I don't see anything, so I'm going to move on and call the roll then. Courtney?
Bird eye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ron?
Driscoll aye.
Ronnie?
Bowman, aye.
Dave?
Kent aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Jim?
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye, so it's unanimous to issue an enforcement order. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. All right. Next up is vote order of conditions. Frederick P. and Karen E. Collins, trustees, 16 Clay Path, nominee trust, 16 Clay Path, East Falmouth, Mass. Jen, can you review this one for me?
Yeah, I'm getting there, Mr. Chairman. Dock repair. Replacing 16 pilings, redecking with through flow. We have notes: remove stepping stones and gravel and mitigate by a certain date, because I guess there's mitigation on site. I mean, elements on site that need mitigation, and they are presently cutting a vista. And we will encourage them and request that they apply for a vista pruning permit through an RDA process just to get it on a plan done so they can continue doing what they've been doing without a permit. So let's just get them permitted. I think that's about it. Anything to add, Alyssa?
And to remove the unpermitted float and no longer more than one boat.
Okay.
Oh, is this the one with the two the unpermitted float? Is that the kayak one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was nothing on site. It must be seasonal.
Okay.
Cool. Discussion. Bill, I see you got your hand up. You got something?
Yeah, quick question on that. I think one of the photos had the 3 boats hanging out there. So is part of the order conditions is like every once in a while someone's popping in to make sure there's not 3 boats hanging out there? Like, is that supposed to be observed? Is that what we condition, or?
It was previously conditioned when the dock system was enlarged several years ago. Once an order is closed, we don't just readily have access to a property, and we rarely make use of that ability. We always try to schedule something. So we sort of rely on aerial photos. This is a new property owner, so maybe they just didn't know. But
I was just curious.
yeah, that's kind of the best we can do.
No, fair.
There's so many properties we can't possibly pop in to visit all dock projects. So it's usually like if we're visiting an adjacent parcel, we see something, you know, the harbor master will bring stuff to our attention if he's going up and down the ponds by boat. It's a hard thing to enforce, but we do our best.
Yeah, I've just sort of seen a little pattern over the last couple of months of, well, how many boats have been on this dock? It's only supposed to be 1. So it seems like it's more often than not every once in a while. So I'm just not sure how those things are done. More curiosity on my part as I'm getting more up to speed in this gig. So.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Anything else? All right. So can I get
move to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to issue the order of conditions as discussed for 16 Clay Path. Anything else from the commission? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney?
Bird, aye.
Steve?
Patton, aye.
Ron?
Driscoll aye.
Ronnie?
Bowman, aye.
Dave?
Kent, aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Jim?
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye, so it's unanimous to issue an order of conditions to 16 Clay Path, as discussed. Next up is James and Janice Healy, trustees, the Healy 2020 Living Trust, 295 Edgewater Drive West, East Falmouth, Mass. Jen, who
Yes,
wants?
Mr. Chairman, this is another dock repair. Again, we're going to make a finding that the current mitigation on site's not doing well, so that'll need to be replaced. We're going to need a revised plan on this one. This was the one where Mike Borselli stated in the hearing he was actually raising, elevating the structure above, and we don't have a cross section of that. It never mentioned that in the narrative or anything like that. So we will need a revised plan showing that, so we have the correct elevation of the dock on file. And revised plan showing, and then I have a note that says relocated mitigation.
Yeah, there's some failed mitigation, some in direct sun, some in full shade. I'm
Got
not
it.
sure if the conditions led to the demise, but it just should be evaluated prior to being reinstalled.
Okay.
And just a note, I wasn't paying attention before, but Ronnie, you're not on any of these since you weren't here last week.
What are you telling me I can leave?
Yes, you can.
You could.
And miss all the fun.
No
Ronnie.
comment.
Ronnie, actually, call me tomorrow because there's something coming up that we have to pick a day. Sorry, guys. Before Ronnie leaves, Mr. Chairman, can you take this one quick vote and then I'll
This vote
tell you what I need to tell you?
Yeah.
On this, on the 295, you want to vote on that, Jen?
Yes, please.
Okay. You know what, though? Hang on a second, though. I had a question on this one, though.
Okay.
I'm
So-
not going anywhere.
The mitigation, okay, on this you say is failing, right, Alyssa?
There's just a couple small sections.
But is it, I mean, we had that water restriction all summer long. Was it from watering? I mean, what are people supposed to do in that case? You know, that's kind of caught, you know, they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know?
Yeah, so these plantings have been installed for more than a couple years.
Okay.
So they probably shouldn't need routine watering as one would have with brand new mitigation, which I do know is exempt from the drought provisions. There might be certain types of watering that still shouldn't be utilized, but watering in general for new plants is perfectly fine. We've gotten that cleared through the water department. I mean, they were kind of in questionable areas from the start. There's definitely a section I didn't have high hopes for. I was surprised some of them were actually doing well. It's just, yeah, it could just be a very harsh environment in that, particularly in that direct sun section. They could have been foraged a little bit too.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to delay things. So can we get a motion in a second on issuing an order of conditions on 295 Edgewater Drive West as discussed?
Bird so move, or second. I'm sorry if I got beat to the punch.
I think Ron beat you. And
Yeah,
so we have
I'll second it.
It's hopeless.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. No other comments or questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, I'm going to call the roll. Courtney?
Bird eye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ron?
Driscoll.
Ronnie's not in it. David?
Can't tie.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
Jim?
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye. So that's unanimous. The order of conditions have been issued for 295 Edgewater Drive West. Jen, it's all yours.
Okay, yes, Mr. Chairman. So first off, to the watering question, Russ, we consulted with Matt Lannon, the water superintendent, several times this past year on the water restrictions where we were getting calls from concerned residents. So we were in touch with the water department, so we did know that people could water. They were getting conflicting information from the water department, but I spoke to the superintendent myself.
Because I heard that a few times, and one guy said he was spoken to because he was watering. I thought you could hand water. You couldn't.
Yeah, and it really depends on the level of drought, but it's something that we'll work more closely with in the summer times with the water department.
Okay.
Okay, and what I needed to remind you all is because we closed some hearings tonight, which is great. I love closing hearings. We have to vote orders and we don't meet for 2 weeks. So we have to have a special meeting for all the new commissioners. We have to have a meeting just to vote orders of conditions so we can get them out in the mandated time frame. So I guess everybody who actually I've got half retired and half working. Bill, looks like you're going back to work, but you said you have Mondays off.
I have Mondays off and then I have evenings free.
Evenings. So where did Russell just go?
I just had to get my calendar, that's all.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought you were doing. Does anyone else have a restriction? I know, Russ, it's tough for you. Bill is off on Mondays and has evenings. Ronnie, are you flexible or not? Like if we did it
has to be a
in
Monday
the morning, around sometime in the morning, if you wanted to come into my office and do it.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, Russ, but Russ, you're I think the one that's gonna.
Yeah, because 7 to 9 are my office hours. So,
I'm looking at the 24th because I can't do next Monday, possibly.
I'm not going to be here.
Do we all have to be there as a group?
No, I need a quorum. So I need 4 of you there. I need 4 of you.
Okay. So
I'm flexible. I'm one.
I'm probably out. I'm having knee surgery on Friday.
Okay, you're out. Rush, you're not going to be here on the 24th.
No,
It could be the
no.
17th. I mean, Alyssa and Fallon can run the meeting. I just don't know if I'm going to be out of the office on Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Monday,
if
I
it's
have to see the hand surgeon.
yeah, if it's in the morning or whatever, like I do work for the government, I can go in a little bit later.
Yeah, I can be there. Are you
Like
gonna
I
do
can
it
make
by
I can make
Zoom,
certain
or
things happen. If
are you
it,
doing it by Zoom
either
or?
earlier or later in the day, like as long as I'm
We
not.
do it by Zoom, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're going to do it by Zoom.
Yeah.
Russ, what is your schedule?
Well, I mean, if we could we call, how do you guys feel about 9 o'clock on the 17th in the morning?
I'm
I
fine
can't
with
do
that.
that.
I'm good. I have a class that gets done 7:30 to 8:30 Monday and Wednesday, so I could do 9.
Okay.
Okay, everybody that can do 9 on Monday the 17th, raise your hand. Okay, I got 1, I got 2, I got Jim, I got Dave, okay, perfect. So Ron's going to be out, and Ronnie, you're going to be out, right? You got a hand surgery, you got knee surgery.
How long does this take?
It's going to take like 15, 20 minutes tops.
Okay. Okay.
There's
If
only
that,
two
even
that you
long.
guys closed.
Only
It should
two.
take
Only
5
2?
minutes.
5 minutes.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will set a special meeting, Mr. Chairman, Monday, the 17th at 9 o'clock by Zoom,
Right. The vote orders only.
and to vote 2 orders.
That's it.
Thank you, guys.
And I'll be down in your office. I'll just come down with you and
Yeah, I may not be there, but Alyssa, if I'm not there, Alyssa's going to be running it. So you just go into that office.
no problem.
Okay, Ronnie, good night. You can
Good
leave
night,
now.
all. We'll see you in a
Night,
couple of
Ronnie.
weeks. Have a
Yeah,
good
bye.
Thanksgiving.
You too.
You
Have a
too,
good
Ronnie.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Let's get back to our more order of conditions here. Teresa Lock,
Lockwood, is that where we are?
East Falmouth, Mass. What's the next one? Order of conditions. What was that about? Do you remember, Alyssa?
I'm getting it. I have my papers underneath me right here. This one was. Yep, we're just reinstalling. Oh, this was restoration plantings. I keep getting this one mixed up with the dock with the square float, Alyssa. This is just some restoration needs to be done. The understory was cleared. We met with the property owners. I think the parent had passed. They inherited the property. It was discovered that this was done. They're just restoring it. We're going to be working with Paul Raposa, I believe. Simple.
Okay. All right. Any
We'll
other?
just condition it on a date certain, Mr. Chair. Sorry about that.
Dave, you get something?
Well, Jen, this is the one that in order of conditions unfulfilled was discovered when the property was sold.
Possibly correct. Yes.
Yeah, more or less. We kind of determined a violation.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any other discussion on this one?
No.
Pretty simple. So
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
Thank you, Court. Thank you, Ron. So we have a motion and a second to issue orders as discussed. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I will call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll aye.
Dave,
Anti.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. So we're unanimous to issue order of conditions for 71 T-Ticket Path as discussed. All right, next up is Bywater Realty Trust, 32 Dealinda Place, East Falmouth, Mass. Jen?
Yes, this is to construct a single-family home. It was determined that the intermittent stream did not meet the watershed calculations required to consider it a perennial stream. So the Riverfront Act is not in play here. And Alyssa, I have a note, revised plan. Can't even read my own writing half the time.
Yeah, typically on these projects, we try to see at least 10 feet of trees
Got
surveyed
it.
into
Yeah.
the zone A. So when they do clear up to it, we can tell if there's been any encroachment. There were a lot of trees straddling that line, so having those shown will be important. We also need a change of signature from the Patellos in the property owner information.
Yep. Got it.
All right, any other discussion
Perfect.
on this one? Anyone got anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to issue as discussed.
Make a motion, issue as orders as discussed.
Thank
Bird
you.
second.
Thank you, Court.
Patton,
All right. Any other discussion? Don't hear none. I'm call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Pantai.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and I'm an aye, so it's unanimous to issue a order of conditions as discussed for 32 Deal into place, East Falmouth. All right, vote amended order of conditions. This is 133 Fay Road, Robert and Natalie Culligan. Jen,
Yes, this was an amended order. They are, how do I say this? Modifying the driveway, adding additional mitigation. I think that's about it. And permitting, and then this in turn will permit several other additional features such as like AC units and stepping stones and things like that on the property.
okay. All right. Anyone got anything? Oh, am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
No, you're not muted.
Ron,
Yeah, this is the one that I proposed that they move the mitigation from mitigation A from zone A to B. I talked to the applicant and he was willing to take the chance that if the plants don't survive, then it goes back to plan A. So this would help some, whatever the neighbor thinks is a water problem, the mitigation in B could possibly help that. And he's willing to take the chance. Just have to change the makeup of the plants a little bit because they'll be a little wetter and they won't be on the bank on zone A. Can we condition that?
If that's what the board would like to do, we can condition it.
Sounds okay to me.
yeah. I did Tom show that on the plan?
No, Tom didn't show it. He had the mitigation area B, if you want to call it that, was on the plan, but
Okay.
it wasn't. It was there because he wanted to put in that other driveway material. So now they're losing what, 8 feet of driveway and regrassing it.
Yep.
And
Okay.
so
Discussion? You guys like that?
any issues?
That's what I'm.
Dave?
Well,
Yeah,
Dave,
well, it sounds good to me. I'm just wondering if we need to have Tom change the plan to
We
show
would
it.
need we would need a revised plan.
That's right.
So it would be
It makes
a revised
sense.
plan.
It makes sense to me, the condition though.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. Revised plan moving this top part. So looking at the
Southwest
plan,
corner.
this
Southwest corner.
right corner down to the wet area, and if the plants don't survive due to stress of going from water to drought, they relocate them back up there.
Yeah, but they'll have to be different plants, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So Tom's going to have to come up with a plant palette that's going to work in that area.
Yeah.
I do have one more question. Are we moving all of the mitigation and that location near the water, or just part of it?
Part of it is my understanding, correct, Ron?
As much as possible.
one spot to another.
Well,
Russ, I missed that, Russ.
I don't like the statement as much as possible because the regulations are very clear that the mitigation needs to be closest to the resource is in your zone A, because routinely people remove vegetation from your zone B. So I would be willing to accept this experiment with the mitigation that was shown on that right upper corner, Ron, and
Yeah.
move that down.
The whole thing.
I'm going to push back if we're going to try to move all of the mitigation down into that.
Oh, no, just the
Okay.
one on the right-hand corner,
Okay.
just that section. And I'm going to
Okay.
call that section A in my mind and just moving it back because it's in zone A.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
southwest corner, back down.
I am just going to say that that's not what your regulations say. And as your administrator, I do have to remind you that your regulations say that it all should go into zone A. But if this is something the board would like to do, we can try it out. I'm going to have the same concerns like I did with Tom's plan over on Courier about stressing the plants, but let's see if I can't work with Tom, come up with some sort of plant palette that might work. And then we'll probably have to put a time frame on it. Like, I don't think these people are flipping this house. So if the plants, don't survive within like 2 years or something, then they need to be relocated. Is that acceptable?
That's very acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one more historical fact, that's where the garden used to be when one family owned all 3 of those homes. They had a full garden down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where the water issue is coming from, so I don't know which property is contributing to it. So we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember that was Dr. Burwell's property. I remember that tennis courts and all that stuff that was in there. Yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as abundantly discussed tonight.
Driscoll second.
So we have a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions, an amended order of conditions that as discussed. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, I'm going to call
Real
roll.
quickly. So is that monitored? So someone's going to look at it next year to make sure everything's still alive.
We can add monitoring reports. That
Absolutely.
means they'll have to submit like in this case like a monitoring report a year or 2 monitoring reports a year. See if they
I would
get
be more
established.
comfortable with
Good
adding
idea.
a monitoring report because if we're going to do this experiment, we have to know if it works. So
Aren't we getting monitoring reports on a regular basis from all these places?
Not necessarily, Ron. If it's just routine mitigation, we usually don't require the monitoring reports. It's if it's like a full-scale restoration or something like
I
that.
thought we were as of a few months ago. I thought we were going to require the regular monitoring reports for everything.
I can start requiring it. I mean, it's a special condition that I just sometimes take out, but I can do it on all of them. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I thought we were doing that. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was in there.
Yep,
Yeah, thank
nope,
you.
got it. Report, and Ron noted, I will start requiring it on all projects.
All right.
And I might have just missed that, sorry. Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. So I'm going to call a roll. No other discussion, right? All right. Courtney.
Bird eye.
Steve.
Matt and I.
Ron.
Driscoll aye.
Dave.
Anti.
Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
And Robbins is an aye. So we're unanimous on this. You've issued order of conditions for 133 Fay Road. Anything else? Anyone else get anything else for us tonight?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
Driscoll second.
Plan. So we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Robbins, aye.
Duffy, aye.
Bird eye.
Matt and I.
McGrath, aye.
Anti.
Driscoll aye.
Good job. I think we got it all.